Okay, the question is, can you run a successful woodworking business out of your garage or your basement? We're going to find out. Let's dive in. All right, welcome back. As always, I'm so glad that you're here. If you have not yet checked out the Handmade Business Secrets podcast on Apple or Spotify, be sure to check that out, where you can get sound woodworking wisdom while you're driving down the road or you are sanding that thing that you're sick of sanding, and continue to develop your woodworking business skills with the podcast. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And so in today's video, let's dive into, can I run a successful woodworking business out of my garage? That's a great question. The short answer is yes, you can. And let me give you a little bit of an example of my experience. Most guys think that, well, if I'm running a woodworking business out of my garage, that doesn't seem very legit, right? Customers aren't going to want to purchase high-ticket products from me. They're going to want to come by a showroom or a shop and see our stuff. It just doesn't feel very legitimate, which is a legitimate concern. I don't really want people coming to my house and my garage seeing products that I'm building, right? If I'm trying to sell stuff, how do they put their hands on it without them coming to my house? This is what every single one of us have thought through, have processed through on our journey to growing our woodworking business. However, let me just tell you that there are actual clear advantages. It's not just neutral, it's actually an advantage to selling out of your house and selling out of your garage or your basement. One thing I realized when I was starting to scale and starting to grow my woodworking business, but I was still in my garage, people love to support growing businesses. It's so funny because when you're starting and when you're just growing, everybody roots for you. Hey, I'm starting this new thing. Everyone's like, man, that's incredible. I'm so proud of you for taking a step of faith. Keep doing what you're doing. And then at a certain point, once you become successful, it's almost like people stop rooting for you. It's almost like you're now too big. You're no longer the underdog. But when you're selling out of your garage and you're inviting people over to your house to see what you build and what you sell and what you make, people see you as, man, that's an inspiring story. This guy is going for it. He's building out of his garage, and they will actually support you. So number one, you have to be able to prove to them that you can give them a good product. So when you invite them over, you need to have something good in that garage for them to see. But the second thing is you need to share your story about where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. Yeah, I'm really trying to grow this thing. I love woodworking. I love connecting families around a dinner table. This is why I do what I do. You know, this is my woodworking background. Right now, I'm just doing it out of my garage. We do some beautiful stuff. Here's an example of some of my work. Would love to do a project for you. But what this does is, in the mind of the buyer, is that they feel more connected to you because of your story as opposed to just buying something simply for the product, right? Now, do they want a good product? 100%. They want to make sure it's a good product. But if you can provide as good or a better product than what they're going to find at the big box store, then they're going to be more apt to support you. So can you run a successful woodworking business out of your garage? The answer is yes, you can. Don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to invite people over. I remember literally inviting people into my house to see my dining table that I built myself, that I built our family. Yeah, this is what we build. This is what we do. Come on in. And when you do that and they come in, check it out. You talk, sit down at the table and you walk through their measurements and what have you. There's just a better relationship that you're going to be able to form with your clients. And also, as you form really good relationships with your clients, they're going to give you a little bit more grace too. Like if you miss a deadline or if something isn't perfect, let's say that there was an error or a mistake or something that happened that you were unaware about when you delivered the table or you delivered the product. If you have a good relationship, if you spent some time with them, if they came over to your home and sat down at the table with you, there's going to be a lot more grace there for you. They're going to be like, hey man, I don't mean to bring this up, but this wasn't right. I really needed it by this date. They're going to have more grace for you. You're going to be able to, I don't want to say get away with more, because we're not trying to get away with more. We want to hit deadlines. We want to deliver perfect products. We want to do those things. But in case something ever does happen, you're going to have a lot more grace on your side, as opposed to if somebody just buys from you online, they never talk to you. Then online you said, you'll have this in 6 to 8 weeks. Well, at 8 weeks in the day, they're going to be calling you, where the heck's my table at, right? Because there's no relationship there. So selling out of your garage, manufacturing out of your garage, your basement, inviting potential customers to your house. I know it may feel a little funky, but you can actually use this as a strategic advantage over the big box stores or over the other guys. And people are going to root for the underdog. It's the Rocky story. They're going to root for the guy that's coming up from the bottom, and let that be you as long as you possibly can. So, appreciate you tuning in for this video. A couple resources for you. Number one is the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. If you have not yet read that book, you should check it out. It's totally free. It's about 100 pages long. I wrote that book, and it kind of just outlines my journey of going from my garage, where I just started out having no idea what I was doing, to scaling to ultimately $70,000 per month with a team, shop, and a showroom, and everything that comes with it. In that book, I'm really walking you through the thought processes and the business principles that you need in order to do that. Second resource is the Handmade Hero Academy. If you're a newbie trying to start out and you're trying to grow, that is the best program I can recommend to get you off the ground. One high-ticket furniture sale from what you learn inside of that program is going to more than pay for itself. You should absolutely check it out. It's a good investment. And then number three is the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. If you are serious about really scaling and growing, getting to $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 per month or more inside of your woodworking business, be sure to check that program out. I cannot recommend it enough. It is our flagship program. We have almost 50 guys in that program right now, and they're scaling all over North America. So if that is you, be sure to check that out in the link below. So with that being said, guys, love and appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.